So I have a B2 exam in Turkish at my school in about 2 weeks. I am enlisting my friend ChatGPT in order to help me feel more confident and more prepared in all of my skills. So reading, writing, listening, and speaking. I'm here to walk you through the exact process of how I do that. Let's get started. I have successfully logged into ChatGPT. I also have my book right here, and this has all of the topics that I am going to cover in these next 2 weeks. Now, all of the topics are listed here, and I'm going to start actually with one that has given me not problems necessarily, but I've just been not as confident talking about it in the very last chapter of our science section. Okay, so you see all of my notes that I have taken. So now that I know what topic I am addressing, I'm going to give ChatGPT some background information about myself, telling my level, telling what I am currently having trouble with or not having enough practice for, and then also just asking ChatGPT in general how I expect it to help test my knowledge. So quizzes to test grammar knowledge, reading passages using vocabulary lists and topics from the units in my class. Okay, so now we have all of reading, listening, writing will come later. Next, we're going to share details about the textbook and specifically about chapter 6. I'm having trouble memorizing the vocabulary for Unit 6. So we're going to tackle reading first, because especially with reading, I have found, especially getting from a B1 to a B2, there is a lot of really specific vocabulary. I mean, I even learned the word for hereditary, and it's just not something that I would use on a daily basis when speaking Turkish. But really, to improve my reading comprehension, I really need to widen the vocabulary that I'm using within each unit topic that my textbook is giving me. So what I'm going to do is I've already written down the words from my original reading text. These are obviously the words that I am having also the most trouble with. And what I really like to do for reading is ask ChatGPT if they can create a new passage about DNA and science, but using some of the keywords that I did not understand very well from this text. So here are the words that I am hoping ChatGPT will help me with. Okay, so I'm going to read all of this. They've already included actually all of the words that I asked it to. Okay, so I've read the passage 2 times, one just quietly, and then one also just reading out loud to improve my pronunciation and practice. I'm going to ask them, can you create 5 comprehension questions to check my reading skills? Okay, and then looking down here, it looks like I can also practice speaking while reading. So kalıtsal hastalıklar nasıl oluşur ve nasıl teşhis edilebilir? Açıklamayı metne göre yapınız. Genellikle genetik kalıtsal hastalıklarının sebeplerini gayet bilmiyorum. Ama metnimize göre kalıtsal hastalıklar yani herhangi bir yaşta teşhis edilebilir. Yani araştırmalar üzerinden insanların zaten olduğu hastalıklar hakkında araştırma yaparak her şey teşhis edilebilir ve yeni yöntemler bu bilgi sayesinde oluşturulabilir. Then after that, what I'm going to do for listening is, can you send me some videos relevant to this topic from YouTube? And then it is automatically going to write to me in Turkish, which is really good. And now I can already see that one of my words, teşhis nasıl olur, paired together in context, of course, which is really helpful for me to keep on memorizing words by relating them to the context that I see, not only through reading, but through listening. What I'm going to do is listen to all of this. This is also really just a nice way to not have to search for a really long time for relevant videos that would test my comprehension in this area. ChatGPT just brings it directly to me. Okay, so for writing, what I'm actually going to do is upload a picture of my text right here. Now, this is about I think Unit 3, talking about fashion in Turkish. Instead of having to write it all down word by word, I am going to take a picture of it, and then I'm going to upload it into ChatGPT. Now, what I think I'm going to do is, because one of my teachers on another platform, a live teacher, is not available for today or tomorrow, I figured that I would ask ChatGPT to correct my writing instead. And what I'm going to do is, because I know ChatGPT is not 100% accurate, I am going to note these errors. For example, this one, where I could have phrased the sentence differently. I'm going to rewrite what I got corrections on and then send that picture to my live teacher and see if she still has anything left to correct. Writing in another language can be a bit tricky, and I want to just be really sure that I'm doing okay. But you can see, for example, this one, which is really good, and they also gave me the correction in Turkish. And I believe that, unfortunately, the voice communicator tool where you can talk and have a conversation with AI is unavailable in Turkey for right now. So what I'm going to do instead is ask, can you give me 5 questions that my teacher could ask me about this topic from today during a B2 Turkish exam? And then, of course, they are going to give me these really helpful 5 questions. What I'm actually going to do, instead of using the voice tool, since it's not available, is go to my documents, actually, Google Docs on my phone. And then after that, I am going to actually use the voice feature right here, where technically I can respond to these questions just talking into the microphone, but my answer will be transcribed, and then I'll probably go back to ChatGPT and ask if they can correct my response. Now, I know this is taking out the listening portion. However, I know that during the exam, it won't be necessarily a 100% natural conversation. Mostly what the teachers are going to be wanting is checking for my own ways of expression and my abilities to do that. So I'm not as worried about not practicing as much listening comprehension, prepping myself for this exam entirely. Benim için moda çok az ifade ediyor aslında. Yani çok klasik bir tarzım var. Küçük yaşlardan itibaren hep öyle oluyor aslında. And again, all of this has been transcribed into Google. After that, I will copy and paste it into ChatGPT and also get corrections on what I said. As with all corrections, at the end of any sort of ChatGPT session, I want to make sure I am recording all of these corrections here. So you can see my running list of kind of what I call a general cheat sheet of vocabulary and just expressions that I find are important for me to keep on memorizing and revisiting before the exam. After I write everything that ChatGPT has corrected me on, I will usually have about 30 minutes to an hour each day just reviewing the vocabulary and also being able to record any new corrections that I got from today. So you can see my whole process here, and it was all centered around just 2 topics from my textbook that I knew I did not have as much confidence on in terms of speaking and producing writing about it. Okay, so what do I plan to do with all of this just moving forward? Because again, I do have ample time to prepare the other topics that are given in my textbook. So with every study session that I use for ChatGPT, it's not going to look like working on all 4 skills at the same time just in one session. Most likely, I will alternate in between reading and listening, and then also writing and speaking. So active skills one day and then passive skills another day, just depending on my energy. I will be including a rest day for these next 2 weeks, 1 day per week, just because I know that Turkish has been a very intensive learning process, especially having 4 hours a day class. And then on top of that, also having these kinds of study sessions with ChatGPT, conversation classes with my tutor outside of class. It feels like a full-time job basically. And so I know that I am going to need the rest for that. I am able to definitely progress faster and more confidently than I would be just being alone and having to search for all of this by myself. See you in another video.